Good morning, everybody. Miss Linda here. I've been asked to answer some questions that some of you may find interesting. So I say I'm sitting in my loungewear and I've got a nice cup of green tea with me, trying to stay healthy, even though I feel like eating cake and chocolate, but hey ho. Well, my mum and dad, they sent me to a local dancing school down where I lived, and I progressed through the grades there and took my teaching exams. But instead of going into teaching then, because it wasn't as popular as it is nowadays, I went and got myself a performing job down in South Devon, and I worked as a blue coat for Pontins, which is the equivalent of red coats now. But instead of doing all of the things like the bingo and the donkey derby and things like that, I was very much in the performing side of it. So I used to put on shows, dance with other members of my and perform with other members of my cast, and also support local acts that we had coming in. But how I got into talents was I had Lucy, and I decided to find her a little dance school like I did when I was a little girl, and she was two and a half when she started at Talents, which then it was a brand new premises which was above the old Citroen garage in Wickford, which is opposite the laundrette in Wickford, which is now just derelict land. And I walked into the studio with my little girl, and I met Miss Hazel, and the first time we met, we took an instant shine to each other. And that has been a 28-year friendship. And I started going to adult classes there when Lucy was at play school. And she said to me, "How come you know everything? How come you know what we're doing?" And I said, I used to be a dancer, and etc. And she said, "Would you like to help out with some classes?" Which I did do. And here we are 28 years later, and I'm still going strong. Well, as I had the children from when they first come in at 2.5, and they are little toddlers running around and not being able to do anything, just to see their achievements that they make, i.e. not being able to skip, and then they start skipping, and then going up through the grades and ending up with the capability of doing such fantastic things. It gives me such pleasure. And all of you are at the studio now in some form or another. I have taught you. I have taught all of your teachers up there, Miss Shana, Miss Lucy, Mr. Matt, Miss Emily, Miss Hannah. They've all been my student teachers at some time, and now look at them. They're doing absolutely amazing things with all of you children, and that just gives me such pleasure. I wouldn't change my job for the world. Well, there are an awful lot that has happened, but one I will tell you about, which happened to Mr. Matt and me. He was about 13 up at the studio, and I was teaching him, and my top fell down and he saw my boobies. Well, he does dad dancing, that's all I can say. And yes, I have tried to teach him some moves, but he thinks I'm being too bossy with him, so we end up in a row. So we don't do that anymore. Well, I think everybody has produced such fantastic dances, and my favourite dances of all time is Miss Emily's dance with Rosie Vizard for her acro, and the original duet with Ruby and Ava for the Bathing Bells one. My favourite, of course, before my show dances, is Miss Shana's contemporary dance. I really do love that. But if you're pushing me to say who is the best dancer out of all of the teachers that could actually perform on the stage, I'd have to say Lucy. And that's an easy one. I really love Love Shack.